Hi, this is Stitchy with GB. I'm B. My pronouns are she, her. Today is January 17th. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. This is a channel about and for cross stitch. I'm going to kind of go over some of my progress this month because I've got a lot of projects I'm trying to do this month. So there's a lot. So I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible so this isn't a very, very long video. In my last video, I did some 2026 plan ramblings or plamblings, if you will. For a quick summary, if you didn't watch that, and no problems if you didn't. I'm trying to finish 32 specific projects this year. And then I have a goal to work on every single one of my 109 works in progress or WIPs throughout the year, which divvies out to around 9 unique projects a month. And that 9 will include the ones I'm trying to finish, as well as one of my extra large projects, which is anything I'm working on that's over 50,000 stitches. I'm also trying to do a whip go board for the first time, but it's very loosey-goosey and hopefully is something I can fulfill by applying it to the other projects that I'm working on in that 9. So this month, I already got a little bit off kilter. I swear I can count. I'm not good at math, but I swear I can count. It got off. I forgot to account for the extra large project, and because my whip go board, I had to add another one. All of this is a way to say I have 11 projects this month. So that's part of why I wanted to go ahead and get started on going over them now so that my video in a couple weeks won't be crazy. So normally at this point I would switch to an overhead view, but honestly I'm just not up to fussing with it. It doesn't even require that much, but it requires just enough. I don't have the energy for it. So we are absolutely not going to worry about it. I'm gonna try this for once where I'm just holding it up and showing. I don't know how well it'll go. We're gonna give it a try. So going alphabetically, but not chronologically. This is my second time recording this. I couldn't say it right the first time either. I know how to say it. Oh, and that reminds me. Before I hop into this full video, I bit my tongue while sneezing earlier, so I have a very slight lisp. I can tell that it's there because my tongue is still very tender. So I apologize in advance for that. But my first project that I'm going to talk about is also my first finish for the year. It is the book of Fabled Fungi by Haunted Frames. I'd completed one of the other books last month. So this is 2 of 3 that I have. This one I did on 18 count Oops, which was a misdye by BeStitchMe, using basically the called for or what I had that was in stash, so I was close to it. The back stitch wasn't that bad. There is technically supposed to be like these little pink bits coming off of these branches and the antlers, but I didn't really like how it looked. So I just went ahead and unpicked what little I'd done and kept it the way that it is currently. I did 2008 stitches on that this month, plus the back stitch. I'll try to find a picture of where I was when I started. I did try to take them for a couple of my projects, but not all of them. So I'll try to put that up here just for comparison's sake. I do have, like I said, the third book that I have. She has a bunch more of them, but the third book that I have set up as another finish I would like to do this month, but I haven't started working on it yet. To be perfectly honest, I'm starting to get a little burnt out on the specific style of project, but so I've given myself a couple days between finishing that one and starting this next one, but I will go ahead and show it. This is the Book of Psychic Reading. I'm doing this on 18 count Gray Magic by BeStitchMe. Again, using the called for close to it. So this is where I will be starting from to try to finish it this month. There's just under 1900 stitches left to do on this one. Hopefully, if not starting it after this video, then tomorrow. So I'm not pushing it too far into the month. And then the next project I worked on is the Cups Tarot Stitch Along by Witch's Garden Crafts. I'm doing this on the called for fabric, which they also dyed. It is 14 count Sparkly Mermaid Dreams. And I've just been working on the borders for more of the cards. There's quite a bit more to do, but this is where we currently are. This was really easy to stitch on, just really quick and simple to do the outlines. So I don't think I'll be working on this more this month than what I've already done. But I might, just because it is such a quick and easy thing to get progress on. I've done 320 or 342 stitches this month on that. The next thing I've worked on was something I worked on just a little bit ago, actually, to get more progress in on. This is Dance La Bibliotechque, or In the Library. It is artwork by Auguste Toulmouche. The pattern is by Diana70 on Etsy. And this is technically one of my oldest WIPs. I have two that I'd started in 2023 and carried over into 2024. This one and Sampler Roses. But I did restart this one. So this is not what I had done in 2024 or earlier. I had been doing a center start 14 count. My coverage looked horrible. I just was not happy with it. But I initially did a diagonal, obviously. But when I came back in this month to get some progress in on it, I started here and here. I do think I made some errors here. But because these colors are so similar, I'm not going to try to pull it out. I'm just going to try to make sure I have those specific squares marked off in Pattern Keeper so it doesn't throw me, like, just to show what I did, not the color that I was supposed to do, so to speak. But this bit over here, I'm going to try to follow this down because most of this is all one color. So fill that in before I'm done with this for the month. I've got a hair doing weird things. And then this cuts off right around where the globe is on the actual painting. So that'll get me a pretty good amount of stitches in. For my extra large projects, I don't have an exact goal of how much I want to work on them, anywhere between like 500 to 1,000 stitches. What I've already done so far is, I had it written down, where is it? 486 stitches was what I've done so far, just with these bits. So it'll be very easy to accomplish my goal just by continuing to work on this section. This is being done on a 22 count hardanger now, which is going so much better. Just one strand, full cross, if anyone's curious. Then this is another one I'm hoping to finish this month. This is where I got very ambitious for my first month of trying to do these goals. This project is called History Witches 2. It's by the Little Stitcher on Etsy. It was a stitch along back in 2024, I believe, for the month of October. She released the frames, and then each of these sections that you'll see, there's 4 witches being discussed. And as of January 1st, I still had over 11,000 stitches to do. As of today, I've done 7,434. It is such an easy stitch. I'm sure part of that is because just a huge chunk of that's because of the pattern. It is so nice. It's so simple. Like it's detailed but simple, if that makes any sense. It's a great pattern. And then part of it's also because I'm doing it on a 14 count that I tea-dyed myself. But I have made incredible progress. I'll try to do first a picture of, well, I don't think I have a good picture because it's such a large piece of fabric. It was really hard for me in my previous setup to do a picture of it. So let me talk through it. So before, at the beginning of the month, I had done like this double border, technically triple border, the sections for the witches, the border just underneath, and then the word may and we. And that was all I had done prior to January 1st. So everything here is since then. At this point, all I have left is the skirts of their dresses and aprons, and then some backstitch. And there's a little bit of backstitch kind of in some of these designs up here, but most of it is their name and then the city they were killed in and the year that they were killed will be just below that. I think there's something like 4,200 stitches left, but it's all going to be pretty simple stitching overall. At this point, now that I've gotten here, I'm going to complete each witch, including backstitch, and then move to the next one. Before I was hopping all over the place, but at this point, I'm going to just focus on each one, reread the history about them, because that had been included in the original stitch along, and I'd read it at the time, but that was over a year ago. So this will be a nice refresher. I'm gonna misplace this if I don't put it back. But I'm really enjoying that one. It's been very nice. There have been a couple nights where I'll look at my stitch count for the day and I've gotten over 1,000 stitches. Like it's going so nicely. The next project is one I probably should have held off on, but I didn't. It was a restart to I Put a Spell on You by Olivia Lee Studios. They've done a lot of stitch-alongs from movies from the 80s and 90s, so it's very, very nice for me and my millennial self. A bunch of things I grew up with. It had been being done on a 14 count white Aida, but it was massive. I'll show you how big this cut is, just to give an example. This is an 18 count Pistachio by Fiber on a Whim. And I only got like 200 and some stitches in. It's really not much. Okay, this is how big it's going to be on 18 count. Like it's very, not very tall, but it's very wide. So I just did a center start because I want to get down. There's a border around the entire thing. I want to get down to that. I just did this little tombstone and a little bit of the grass around it. The grass will basically lead me down to where the border is, so that'll help. Yes, and once I get the border in, it'll give me a lot more freedom to hop around the entire width of the project to wherever I want to work in. Then I got some more progress in, I'm only going to show the half that I've got progress in on. This is Monster House by Satsuma Street. A lot of people have been working on this one because it's phenomenal. I'm doing this on an 18 count Veldt by Picture This Plus, I believe. Yes. The bits I did this time for the new parts was this green around the wolf and then the similar pattern over here. And I did 384 stitches. I will probably continue working on this off and on, even though I'm theoretically, can check this one off, because this will be a project I want to finish later on in the year, and there's still right around 10,000 stitches left to do on it. So I really want to, as much progress as I can get in prior to then, the better. But I do love this pattern. I really, those 384 stitches flew by. They were wonderful, very easy to do. This whole project is just so colorful and wonderful. Then I didn't get a ton in on this next one, but I did get a little bit. This is Morbid Curiosities Cabinet by the Stitch Crypt. This is also, I had technically started it. I didn't have much done before, so it was an easy restart. Like, it didn't affect things much. I'm doing this now on 20 count Pink Chocolate by BeStitchMe. I just did more of the black for the shelves. Even though this fabric isn't huge, there's, did I write that down? I don't think so. But the black alone to outline the shelves of the cabinet is something like 6,300 stitches. Right now I'm just trying to at least get one of the shelves done. I'm focusing on this tall one right here, so I can actually start doing some of the stuff on the shelves while also continuing the 310. I did 208 stitches on that. So this next one, for the most part, like I said, I'm trying to have my whip go counts hit something in the existing projects that I have. But this month, right off the bat, things kind of got thrown off. Pull for the pulls for this month were BeStitchMe for me, BeStitchMe fabric, which like half of my projects are on, and an owl forest embroidery project. And I do not currently have, or I did not currently have a whip of theirs, so I had to start a new one. And I went with ripe apples, which I'll put up here. This one I am doing on an 18 count walnut by Witch's Garden Crafts, which is stunning. I'll try to get a little bit closer for the variegation on that. It's beautiful. All of the colors look so gorgeous. Like any guilt that I might have had over starting something new immediately faded. Let's see if I can try to do this a moment ago and it did not cooperate with me. It's not going to now, I can already tell. But all of the colors just look so pretty on this. It's a little bit richer in person, but this is not too far off to give an idea of how the colors will pop on there. I did 359 stitches to get this started. And every single stitch was absolutely wonderful. Then is The Study of Skulls, also by the Stitch Crypt. I had hoped to get a lot more done on this, and then there were problems, and I was very dramatic about it, and I did not need to be. And there's still a strand of floss here that's just kind of hanging out, so please ignore it. This is being done on an 18 count Ada that I hand dyed using wine Rit dye. It's very pretty. So I came in and worked a bit on the books. I did the eyes and nose for this skull, and I focused a lot on this guy here. But somehow my count for him got very off somewhere. Like everything on the inside was correct, but stuff on the outside was not. And I didn't know where my seam ripper was at the time. And I was just very annoyed. So I came over here. I started to work more on trying to get the actual skull for him over here. And I found another error. And I got very overdramatic. And I set it down. And I didn't come back to it until today when I fixed the errors. Everything's good. It took me less than half an hour to remove the couple of wrong stitches, correct the ones on the other side, and then add a single stitch here to fix what was going on there. It was so minor, but I was being so dramatic the day that I was trying to work on this. I think I was mostly upset because I really wanted to work on it, and the fact that I kept finding problems, I was just like, why even bother? And I was, just being ridiculous. But I am very excited about this one. This one's another one I'm hoping to finish later in the year. So I do want to work more on this month, especially now that I've figured out what's going on. And I did 515 stitches this month, even with my little crash out that I had. Lastly, I got more of the frames done on the Major Arcana by Witch's Garden Crafts. And this is on Dark and Stormy, an 18 count, again, by Witch's Garden Crafts. I just kind of followed more of this card up and started working on the actual lettering at the top and finding where this border comes out to, because this will be roughly where the side is. And I will say, so I love Witch's Garden Crafts. Absolutely love them. This is not a critique. This is just a note for anybody who has not used their fabric before. This is a subscription I will never stop doing until they stop doing it, because I love their fabric so much. But through the process of their dyeing, their weave of the Ada gets really snug. Like there isn't really much space, like any space at all in the higher counts between the squares. Like it is dense, it is tight. And so I usually will do one strand, but because I'm doing a bunch of black right now, trying to do this outline, I am doing two, and it wears my hands out. Like I'm just, it's so tiring, just pulling these two strands through. Like it is so much. So I've decided like I'm going to continue doing two strands for all of the outlines, but when I get to the actual cards, because they are basically full coverage inside, I am going to just do that 1/1 no matter what. So there are pants here from the Hanged Man. His legs, the ladies. I'm going to pull that out and just redo it as 1/1. And then yeah, everything in the cards is just going to be 1/1. I think that'll help because this is like 30,000 stitches total, and I refuse to have it be something that just wears me out even doing a little bit. So for example, like I said, on the 14 count History Witches, I've been doing anywhere between 6,000 to 1,000 stitches on that a day, easy, no problem. This I can barely do 200 before I'm just tired. Like my hands are physically tired. So I'm fine continuing to do that for the borders, but beyond that, and that's just, again, if you haven't used their fabric before, that's just something to keep in mind if you get a higher count. I don't know what the situation is on anything other than Ada, because that's my happy place. I think I've gotten some even weave from them, and I think that's also a bit dense, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry. And also, oh, so I made a not at all pretty summary of the month, and I'm going to do this for every month. I tried to do it in Canva, but it was a little bit too fiddly, and I just didn't have the patience for it. So right now, this is quick, this is easy, this is something I can do in my sleep. It is something in Excel. I may change the colors attached to the different categories, but for now, this is hopefully showing up somewhere here to show my goals for each month, where I'm at with them, how I'm feeling with it, etc. So as you can see, there's only 3 things left to cross off. 2 of them are finishes that I'm working on. One of them actively, the other one I will probably get started in a day or two. I was a little bit burnt out from the other books, so I'm going to give myself a little bit and then hop back into it. And then I might add more stitches to Monster House and Study of Skulls, but that's just for fun and to help me later on in the year, not something I need to do. And then I'm almost there on my extra large project. That won't be an issue. I might even knock that out tonight. I'm not sure. So I'm feeling really good about the month, not worried about where I'll be. The only question I have is whether or not I'm going to do a blessing sampler. I honestly haven't given much thought to it until a couple days ago. And I'd done one last year. I'll hopefully be able to find a picture of what I did last year. And I enjoyed it. It was nice. But I don't know, between the goals that I do still have to finish, everything else, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to. I told myself if I do, I have to be able to find something I haven't stashed, like a pattern I already have, on fabric I already have, using colors I already have, one way or another. Like I need to make it work if I want to do this. But I did narrow down to a small pattern. I think it's 11 or 1200 stitches total. It's really not bad. It has a sentiment that I think will carry me well throughout the year. It's a little sassy, a little dark, but whatever. But I don't know yet if I'm going to do it. I'm going to give myself a bit more time to see how my progress continues with History Witches. If that continues to go well and I think I'll be able to fit it in with everything else, fine. But I'm not going to start it if I don't think I'll be able to finish it by the 31st. Not even necessarily because it's a blessing sampler, but just in general. Like in general, I just don't want to start it if I don't think I'll be able to finish it the same month. But yeah, we'll see. We'll find out at the video at the end of the month whether I did it or not. That one should be hopefully a lot quicker because I'll only need to discuss any new progress. Fingers crossed. But that is it for this video. Hopefully, like I said, next one will be much quicker without a bunch of extra stuff. Thank you very much if you stuck around both in this video and in general with my channel. I really appreciate it. Try to remember to get enough water, stay safe, take your meds if you need to, and focus on what makes you happy. See you next time.